As you know, we love to showcase innovation here on Tech Today, and that's why we don't just do unboxings of phones and tablets and stuff like that. We also get EVs. And if we're not doing EVs, now we want to do televisions, because I think this is a space that's hotting up. There's QLED TVs, there's normal LED TVs, of course, now there's OLED TVs as well. Now, OLED TVs have their pros and cons, but the biggest con is that they're incredibly expensive. What if I remove that pain point and gave you a TV which looks good, sounds good, and well, it's right behind me, the Xiaomi Vision 55-inch OLED TV. Now, Xiaomi has made a bunch of TVs over the past few years, QLED, LED. They're far more affordable than those from Samsung, Sony or LG, but this is their foray into the OLED space. This is the Vision OLED by Xiaomi. So there's the LG C1 OLED, which is the undisputed king of OLED TVs when it comes to gaming. A lot of people are purchasing consoles now, so they want a nice TV, which also can prove to be a content consumption device. So you can watch your Netflix, Amazon Prime, Apple TV and stuff like that as well. Of course, the LG C1 OLED is a very expensive proposition. The 55-inch costs nearly 1,50,000 rupees. So if I told you you could get an OLED TV, 55 inches, and that would cost you less than 1 lakh, well then welcome to the Xiaomi Vision OLED. Now, I'll tell you a few things about this that work and a bunch of things which don't work. The first thing that really works for it is the display, which is a 55-inch OLED display, which has Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. The sound is fantastic. It's an 8-speaker system with Dolby Atmos, and I can tell you something safely. If you're not really into a cinema experience and you just want good sound, I think this TV doesn't really need a soundbar. That's how good the sound is on this TV. Let's talk about design. If you look at this TV, it is wafer thin, like I said earlier, and that's kind of cool because for an OLED screen to have a 4.6 mm panel, it is incredibly slim. It has this metal frame and gives you quite a luxury premium sort of a feeling, and of course there's a Xiaomi logo at the bottom. And it's got metal legs inside the box, which is what we've actually placed this on, this stand, these very skinny legs. It doesn't come with a wall mount. So that's something which you don't get with this TV. You can purchase that separately, of course. Another thing I didn't mention is the Fairfield mic, which is uncannily attentive to everything you say. You want to give a voice command, just say the magic word, which I'm putting down on the screen out there so that the TVs and the other devices in your house don't wake up. You can tell it to play a particular song, change the volume, put on a particular video or a show, all by just talking to the remote. The remote is a standard one, pretty much what you get on any premium TV. And of course, it comes with a Google Assistant, a power key, this nice little trackpad. You can go to the patch wall, which is something we need to talk about in a bit. You have back keys, Netflix, Prime Video, Hotstar, and other apps over here. There's no mute key. For mute, you have to just tap the lower volume key twice and it goes on mute. It's a simple remote and it works fairly well. But now let's talk about why this TV might be better than other TVs in this price range. So first, let's talk about another TV which this is pitted straight against. If you haven't really bought into the OLED concept, then Samsung has QLED TVs, which do a fairly decent job with the way they process the picture. So essentially, a QLED is a very complicated technology in terms of how they have enhanced LED TVs by putting a quantum dot layer in the front of it. So it's pretty much like an LED TV, which has really been souped up by Samsung almost to compete with the OLEDs. Now, the reason OLED TVs are better than QLED TVs is often in dark scenes and when you wanted to go pitch black. Imagine a traditional LED screen or a QLED screen, no matter how much local dimming and all the technologies they put in over there, they essentially have light which is cast against the screen. They might have a quantum dot layer, but often it doesn't give you deep blacks. Let's put it that way. It gives you grays and there's always light blooming on the sides. There'll be whitish, patches on the side. That happens a lot in the older technology. In OLEDs, they don't even need to do that because they have individually lighting pixels. So each of these pixels on the TV can actually go completely black, hence giving you, great night scenes as well. Yes, this TV performs fantastically in the day as well. You can see some of our visuals, and even in the day, there's not much reflection on this screen. The panel is top notch. But there is a catch when it comes to OLEDs, at least theoretically. The problem over the years has been something called screen burn-in, which is the pixels which are being used regularly start to burn in and leave an imprint of whatever you've been watching. For instance, you've been watching India Today for too long, and you've been watching maybe the Tech Today show. So right at the bottom or at the top, if there's a particular logo, which is actually there on our shows, and if you only watch that every day for the next few years, then it will leave some sort of an imprint or what they call a screen burn-in. Well, is there a way to prevent that? Just watch a lot more content on Netflix, on Hotstar, all sorts of things. Watch football matches, watch a lot of Tech Today as well, and that's the solution. If that's not feasible, then you can always use the pixel refresh feature on this TV. I don't know how that is in the long run. We'll have to see with a lot more testing. But for the next 2 to 3 years, you have a TV which is the ultimate OG of the market, competing with the likes of Samsung when it comes to consuming basic content. But of course, there's another catch. Now, if you're comparing this TV to the Samsung QLED, then Samsung has the frame which looks really good, like a photo frame on your wall. It has some really cool features. Most importantly, it has a 120Hz refresh rate. That is something the Vision OLED lacks. It's actually restricted to 60Hz, so when you gear it up with your PlayStation or your latest Xbox, you might have a few issues. It's not like the games won't run, but they won't run in their optimum state. Look, on previous episodes of Tech Today, especially our gaming special, we've spoken about how a 120Hz refresh rate is important now, and more importantly, if you're spending almost 1 lakh rupees, it's important to future-proof yourself, because in the future, you're going to get a lot more 120Hz content, especially when it comes to gaming. So if there's a gamer in the family, well then hold off. Maybe Xiaomi needs to come up with a version 2 or the next rendition of this TV which actually comes with a 120Hz display. But where this TV scores, and it really knocks the ball out of the park, is their interpretation of Android TV. The Android OS on this TV obviously comes with a skin which is patch wall, which we've seen on a lot of Xiaomi TVs. I was not too sure about using patch wall before I did, but using it on this TV, I am completely blown away by how easy it makes even something as intuitive as the Android interface. So hats off to them, because whilst the LG pointer and the OS on LG works really well and Samsung's interpretation's alright, Samsung's full of ads nowadays and all sorts of things. It's very confusing and buggy when it comes to their operating system. LG has, of course, its limitations. When you're on the Google Play Store on a TV and you have all these things working for you, this TV with patch wall, it only makes the user experience even better. So what's our verdict? The TV looks good, it sounds good, and honestly, if you just need an OLED TV under 1 lakh rupees, because this one is priced at 90,000 rupees. You use a bunch of cards and you can get your cashbacks, and you can get this for as low as 83,000 rupees. Yes, it's a lot more affordable than the LG OLED range, which is way over a lakh, any model that you take. But if you are shelling out so much money on an OLED television, then do you want 120Hz? So the verdict is really divided. So summing it all up, if you're in the market for an OLED TV or just want to be initiated or introduced to this technology, and it's a really cool technology, then this, the Xiaomi Vision OLED 55-inch, is the cheapest, most affordable OLED TV yet, and it's great at what it does. But if you're a gamer, then look at other options.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.